It's cold. Like I think it's like 20 here today.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was exaggerating with the 10, but it's freezing outside. I didn't have a coat on. I'm like, ooh, bad call.
Yeah, you tripping with no coat.
Yeah, I was.
I took my coat off in the car because I was just so hot with the heat.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. 1 second. Starting. No, what's the title today? Oh, fun review.
What's that?
I was typing the title.
Oh, okay.
It's preferred lending group or funding group.
Funding group.
Okay, I was right. All right. There we go. Save. All right, so what up though everybody? Today is Wednesday and we have Brandon with Preferred Funding Group back again to answer y'all questions in regards to their new funding program. It's the end of the year, fourth quarter, so this is a good time of year to borrow money from people because they're trying to get those last minute tax deductions off. Y'all know the rules. If you have questions, put it in the comment section. If you support the channel, please we definitely accept it via Cash App or badges for y'all on Instagram. So Brandon, how you doing today? Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for setting this all up. Doing great. Trying to stay warm. But
Right?
yeah, doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. It's cold.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is cold. So a couple questions I did have, I remember from Instagram was people always asking me about ARV and stuff like that, and I keep telling them like, I don't think they care, but could you kind of elaborate on that again for the people in the back?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just give a brief, overview of who I am, what I do. Again, as Asia explained, my name is Brandon Dressler. I'm a consultant with Preferred Funding Group. We specialize in unsecured term loans and business lines of credit. We do it the easiest and fastest right now out in the market outside of SBA lending and collateral-based funding. To answer your question about ARV, we don't need to know that. That is not that we don't need to know any of those details about the housing, what you're doing with the property. None of that. You could go for a multi-unit. You could do a family unit. We don't mind. We don't care really. As long as we can get you the funding and you pre-qualify with us and get qualified with us, the funds there's no restrictions with the funding. So you can use the funding for however you need to use it, whether that's fix and flip, rehab work, purchase of a property, down payment assistance. You can use it all for that, and we don't need to know what you're using the funds for.
Okay, I'm gonna hold off for a second. I got Reginald Perriman. He's a licensed broker here in Michigan. He normally does our live with us, and he's
Sure.
joining us in. What up, Reg?
Hey, what's going on? Y'all all right?
I'm good.
How
How
we
you
doing?
doing?
I'm
Reginald,
doing
meet
great.
Brandon. Brandon, meet Reginald.
All right,
Hey,
cool.
Reginald, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right, so
Great.
he was just talking about the lending program that he has as far as you can use it for anything, real estate, take you and your boo on a nice vacation, you know, like get you a bunch of J's to put on StockX. Like you really can
Right.
do whatever you want with
I
it.
wouldn't suggest that. I wouldn't suggest it, but yeah, you
True.
could use the funds. There's no restrictions.
No
Right.
restrictions. So I mean, I'm just insert your pleasure here. So Red, did you have any questions for Brandon?
Well, I'm just joining. So this is pretty much like a private lending, or it's a business lending.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
business funding.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. Great.
Yeah, so I know before he said we can use you can get up to 300,000 for your personal, and then
Okay.
your business can get up to 150,000. So that's almost 450 you can get. So
Oh,
that's
Yep.
nice,
cool.
right? That's a nice amount of money.
Now,
Under
I
the
will say, Asia, you'd mentioned it earlier in the call. Given that it's fourth quarter and that it's the end of fourth quarter, we're seeing something that we haven't seen in several years from our lending partners and our banks and our relationships that we have with them. And they are funding substantially more than what we've been able to get in the past. I do say conservatively 300 up to 300,000 for an unsecured term loan and up to 150,000 on a business line of credit. Now, what we've seen in the last 6 weeks, I would say, is that limit is skyrocketed. We've had several individuals qualify up to 400,000 and then take home 400 plus thousand. We've had 2 individuals that have qualified for over 500,000 and have gotten over 500,000 on just the term loan alone. So banks and lenders they got to meet a number, they got to meet their quota, and this is the way they feel like they need to and can. So I'm instructing and I'm encouraging anybody that's applying and that's needing funding that this is the time to do it, because you're going to get more bang for your buck now than possibly what will happen in the first quarter in January or February. But yeah, that's what I would say. The unsecured term loan, yes, you have to have a business entity, but that will report to the personal aspect of that client. But on the business line of credit, that would report directly to the business.
All right. On the I don't know if you guys covered this already. On for the business loan, is there a personal guarantee attached to that
No,
as well?
completely
Okay.
unsecured. Yep.
Okay. And how long does the business have to have been in business for the loan?
Yeah, great question. So with us, the qualifications for a line of credit, the business line of credit, you need a 680 credit score across all 3 bureaus in order to get pre-qualified with me. Now, in terms of the business entity, there is no time frame of you need to be in business. You could be in business for 10 years or just started on Monday. Does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So the people who just got those loans, what was the average interest rate?
Yeah, so those guys are definitely one of the high hitters. You know, scores are in the 800s. They're making, good 6-figure income. Interest rates, I'd say, on an unsecured term loan, like I said, our interest rates range anywhere between 3 and 15%. I know that's a big range, but typically on average, my clients that we're dealing with, because of the qualifications that you need in order to get this funding, are averaging anywhere between 4 and 6% interest on a secured term loan. On the business line of credit, though, it's a 0% introductory fee or 0% introductory interest rate for the first year. So then after that, it's anywhere between 5.99 to 14.99. And again, the clients that we're dealing with and the clients that qualify for this on average are, right where that 5.99 to about 8.99 right now.
Oh, that's not bad. What's the term on it? Are these like short term, like 5-year, 2-year? What's the term?
Yeah, good question. So the unsecured term loan is a 5 to 7-year term loan.
Okay.
No prepayment penalties. You could have it the full term. It's fully amortized, so you're going to be paying, day 1 to year 7. You're going to be paying that, and it's going to be done after year 7. You're not going to have a balloon payment at the end of the term. The unsecured line of credit is revolving. So as long as you use it and keep it open, it'll continuously go. So there's no term technically on that unless you close it.
Sweet.
Okay. Question. So if I get approved, let's say Friday, but I don't need the money for another 2-3 months, like for a deal or whatever, will they hold it that long? Or like if I get approved now, can I use it later? And if so, how much later?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say there's 2 things. So one, if you want to see what you can qualify for, there's no fees or anything like that to get pre-qualified. You can get a better understanding of what you qualify for. And if there's things that you could correct or improve on your credit, you can do that. And then in 2 months, come back to us, either if the credit score has gone up, and then we can reapply and get you qualified for possibly more funding. What I would say is there's like a 2-week window of once you apply, we're going to want to see, move forward. If you don't want to move forward, that's fine. You can always come back. There's no penalty. You're not looked upon wrong. You're not going to get, you came to us one time, but you didn't move forward, so we're not going to do it again. We're open to that. We have clients coming to us all the time that want to check and see how much they can get. And we put together a proposal for them. And if they don't like it, or if they want to correct something, if they've got a credit card that they're going to pay off here in the next, 6 weeks, that's really hurting them, they'll do that. But sometimes clients are wanting to see, okay, I need 50 grand or I need 100 grand, and they go through our pre-approval process and they get only 40 or they only are approved to 80. If they don't absolutely need it right then second, they will go back, correct something, do a bit of credit report or credit repair, and then boost that up, and so that we can get them the amount that they're needing.
Okay.
What's the turnaround time for funding? So once someone is approved, how soon will they have access to the funds?
Great question. Yeah, so our funding, once you're in processing, takes about 7 to 10 business days. So let's just say today somebody fills out their application this morning. I receive the documents that I need. Then I submit it to our underwriting team. Our underwriting team takes about 24 hours, depending on what they're doing that day. But typically it's about 24-hour turnaround time to put together a proposal for the client. The client and the underwriter, they discuss the proposal. They go over any questions about the process. If the client wants to move forward, then we put them into our compliancy stage, where there's a verbal confirmation and an email confirmation that they want to move forward. And then from there, we put them into processing. So what I'd like to say, or what I would say on average, all in with the application and underwriting and all that, it's about a 14-day turnaround.
Okay.
14 business days?
Correct.
So about 3 weeks?
Typically, yeah.
That's not bad.
From the moment we get the pre-qualification proposal sent to the client till funding in hand. Now it's definitely, I've gotten it sooner. I've gotten clients, again, in the last 6 weeks, we've seen clients being approved and funds in hand within 5 business days. So it's definitely, right now it's speedy, it's a lot more funding than we've seen.
So a lot of people want to know, can this be used nationwide? Somebody asked, they said they live in Philly, and would this apply to them?
Well, I love Philly, and yes, we do fund in Philly. All 50 states. East Coast
International?
to West Coast. Not international. Unless the client has taxable income and personal credit here in the States, then we can get them funded and they can use the funds internationally. If they're looking to purchase property, outside or business, usage outside of the United States, they absolutely can use that. Again, because there's no restrictions, they can do that. Just they need to have taxable income or have a cosigner. We have worked with that. I have had clients that have been in Europe, have been in South America, have been in Asia, that have relatives and or business partners that are here in the States, and they're actually in Asia running the business. And we've worked with the cosigner and got them funded so that they could get the funding for their international business.
Okay, some want to know, what's the interest rate if they have an 800 plus credit score, the average?
That's a tough question because every individual is different. Everyone's credit looks different. You could have an 800 credit score and have a year's worth of credit, or you could have an 800 credit score and have 50 years worth of credit. It all depends, so there's going to be different situations. Typically what I'd say is, the clients that we're dealing with are, anywhere between 5, 10, 15, possibly even 20 years with credit history. So, that goes into account of the strength and length of that credit. So I wouldn't be able to give you a definitive answer on that, but typically on a higher interest rate, or a higher credit score, you're going to pay a lower interest rate.
They said they have 20 plus years of credit history.
20 plus years of credit history. Okay. Well, what I'd say, so what I would say is probably you're going to be on the lower end of that interest rate. And also with business lines of credit, the longer you use it, the lower the interest rate goes down. So the typical initial interest rate, obviously the first year is the 0% introductory interest rate. After that, it's going to be 5.99. I would assume that client would probably fit between that 5.9 and 7.9 more than likely. And then as long as they keep it open and keep using it, over the years, it's going to go down. On the unsecured term loan, I would say you're probably going to be looking around 3 to 5% interest rate. But again, I'm not our lenders, I'm not our banks, I'm not the one making the decision on that interest rate wise. But typically, what I've seen with clients that have an 800 plus credit score and the 20 year longevity on that credit, it's going to be very low.
Is
Okay.
there any time that or any situations that would cause you to cause one of the unsecured term loans due prior to the term ending? So look,
Nope.
okay, all right,
Nope. If you're approved for 5 years, you're going to keep it for 5 years. If you're pre
okay,
if you're approved for 7, you can keep it for 7. Again, you can pay it off whenever. If you want to
right,
keep the loan and you can pay it off in 6 months, pay it off in 6 months. Totally fine.
okay.
All right. What's the question? Somebody asked, "What about Canada?" But that's not America, so it would be the same,
Same
rules,
thing.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got to reside in the United States of America. Again, same situation. If they have a business partner, a relative, a co-signer that is here in the States that has taxable income and also personal credit here in the States, then yes, we could use them as a co-signer and they could help out with the Canadian business.
Okay. Somebody said, "What are the pre-qualifications for business funding?"
Yep. So for our unsecured term loan, it's going to be 2 years. Personal tax returns reflecting $50,000 of personal income, and then also a 3-bureau credit report with a 680 credit score across all 3 bureaus. For the line of credit, it's going to be a credit report.
Or he going out, unless that's me.
Um,
No,
yeah, I
I got.
think he froze on my end too.
Yeah, he froze a little bit. So, somebody was asking the pre-qualification. So he was saying that you need a 680 minimum credit score across all 3 boards. So that's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You need a 680 or above across all of them. So you could have like 680, 700, 690, but it got to be 680 minimum across all. Yeah, he went out for a minute.
Okay.
So he
Yeah,
froze. What you about to say, Rich?
no, the reason I asked, and I probably meant to ask it on the line of credit. So the reason I asked if they would call the loan due, because sometimes you'll have like lenders and you'll have like credit with them for a certain period of time. But let's say if your credit score, they may have something in their contract that says if your score drops beneath a certain amount or for other reasons, they can call that loan due at any time.
Mm.
That you probably heard, like, I don't know if you ever heard like Cardone tell the story about when he had all these loans and then the banks called everything due at once. So
Mm.
yeah, that happens to people too. So you'll have loans out on your properties or whatever, and the lender can call those loans due at any time. But they'll have
Messed
reasons.
up.
Yeah, they'll have reasons outlined in their loan documents. So like one is normally like if they see like your credit score is dropping quite a bit, um, or you have like some other like financial issues, they'll just call those loans due at that time because they feel like you're putting their loans at risk. Yeah.
But I wonder, like, if they do that, if that's not in the fine print, like, can they get sued?
No, usually it's in the fine print. That's why I usually ask lenders up front.
Oh, he
Yeah.
back. Welcome back.
Yeah,
All right.
sorry about that. I'm actually on my phone right now because my computer is out of commission and my phone just said it needed to cool down. So I apologize for that. What did I miss?
All good. You were talking about the pre-qualifications for the business funding.
Yeah, so I talked about the unsecured term loan needing 2 years, personal tax returns of $50,000 or more, and personal income, and then also a 3-bureau credit report with a 680 across all 3 bureaus. And then for the for the line of credit, it's just all I need is a 3-bureau credit report with a 680 credit score.
Okay. Uh,
So
somebody
this definitely beats out
go ahead.
this beats out hard money lending in a lot of ways because usually with the hard money lenders, you're setting up money at escrow. It kind of limits to how you can negotiate on some of the deals because it's all based on ARV and repair costs. With this, we just have the cash up front to go out and we can negotiate better deals if we're getting money that quick. It's,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, that's real. And then it's better too, Rex. Is like comps don't matter, ARV don't matter. How to apply.
Exactly.
how the block look don't matter. Like this is about to change the game for a lot of people.
Right.
Um, so Brandon, somebody said was what you just said, was that for business or personal or both?
So the unsecured term loan, 2 years tax returns, 3 bureau credit report with a 680 credit score. Line of credit, just need I just need a credit report with a 680 credit score above across all 3 bureaus. So I need a 3 bureau credit report. Only thing I need to get pre-qualified for a line of credit is a 3 bureau credit report with a 680 credit score.
Okay. So to clarify, is that one for the business or the personal?
Well, the one that will reflect on the business is the line of credit.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's up to 150, right?
Correct.
And they said what type of work or income history is needed again?
So income history, it depends. So if you're a W-2 employee, not a problem. You can. We need last 2 pay stubs in order to get you pre-qualified, or in order to move you through the process. But we won't need any of that information to get you pre-qualified. Once we get you pre-qualified and we get your proposal, you want to move forward, then that's when we're going to need, pay stubs, and that's really, one, to prove your income, that you have income coming in, and 2, that it's the actual person. It verifies who that person is. We'll also need driver's license and social security card. Same thing you'll need at a bank to get a loan and anything like that. It's more so for the identification thing.
So they said, would bank statements suffice if you don't have tax returns? I'm self-employed, but I don't file taxes for real, but I make good money.
Unfortunately, no, that would not work if you don't file taxes.
Yeah. I mean, I
Not a
kind of
good
figured that, but I wanted you to say it.
I got to look at the bad guy. All right, no problem.
Well, you know what? That's a good question, because I deal with a lot in like residential sales where
Sure.
people, they make good money, but they don't, they'll file their tax returns, but they're writing off everything, but then they can't really qualify for a lot, but they have a lot of money in the bank. But also know people that just haven't filed their tax returns. And this is like another example why you want to have all your paperwork in order so you can have access to capital like this.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yep. Correct. Yeah. So individuals, and I deal with this all the time. Individuals that are self-employed, they write off quite a bit, if not everything, and on their tax returns it shows they made $15,000 that year, when in all actuality they probably made $200,000 on paper, and that's why our firm and the way that we're able to get the funding on paper, it has to show 50,000 in personal income. Now, again, if you don't have 50,000 personal income, you still qualify, or could qualify, for the line of credit up to 150,000. You're just missing out on the potential of up to 400,000. Now, you could use a cosigner in that situation. Sometimes, the individuals that I deal with, maybe they tell me that they only made 15 grand, but they have a spouse, so they filed with their spouse, and their spouse's income is 65,000, and those two are on the tax returns, so it actually shows a household income of 70,000. That qualifies.
Okay. All right. Somebody. Oh, go ahead, Red.
No, I was going to say, what if someone had a bankruptcy? Maybe they have the credit score and all the income requirements, but they had a bankruptcy maybe like in the past 6 or 7 years or so.
That's a good question. That one gets a little fuzzy. So I'd say it probably have to be 7+ years in order to get qualified. 5 is a little close. I mean, I have gotten people funded that have had bankruptcies on their credit report, but that was several years ago.
Okay.
All right. So same person about the tax stuff. He said, or she, I'm not sure, but just for business line of credit, I only need a good credit report, and I'm good for unsecured loans when I need work history. They're trying to clarify.
So yeah, for the line of credit, all I need in order to get you pre-qualified is the 3 bureau credit report.
All right, so you got that. All right, another person. Can I be a personal guarantee on a business loan? The purpose is to build up my business credit since my business score is 0.
Well, this would go towards your business credit, so this would build your credit tremendously. There's no personal guarantee, but this would go towards your personal credit, or your not personal, I apologize, your business credit. So 100% that this would help you out tremendously.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good question. Okay, would this relate to Baltimore?
Yes, ma'am. All 50 states.
Right. All right. Next question. Are there things on an application or are there things the applicant can do to be more attractive?
Um, the fewer the inquiries, no negatives, higher the credit score, six-figure income. That's what's going to be standing out for underwriters more so.
Yeah. I think that's with anything.
That's, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Do all partners need to have above 680?
Do all partners? Well, this is going to be individually. So the individual, I don't do partners. So if four individuals wanted to go in and get funding for their single business, then each individual, yes, would have to have the 680 and the income if they're going for both the unsecured term loan and the business line of credit, or they just need to have the 680 if they're going for the business line of credit.
So if let's say me and Reg got a business, I can go get up to 450 and he can go up to 450, or the business can get up to 150 and we both individual get up to 300,000.
Nope. You both can qualify up to 550 technically right now for the business. So it would go to, yeah, you could use it under that. So if there's different, yeah, because I've done that with different partners as well. I've had a company that came to us and they had four individuals, four partners in the business, and they all went in and they all got separate funding for the business.
That's dope. Okay, when applying for both the loan and line of credit, will it count as one inquiry or two separate since the same credit report is being used?
Repeat the question again. I'm sorry.
So basically, if I'm applying for the loan and the line of credit for the business, right? Will that be one inquiry when you run my credit, or is it going to be two?
Yeah, it's a good question. Typically, what we want to do, and this is where we're successful, and why an individual couldn't go to the bank and get the funding that we're asking for on their own. So we're able to simultaneously pull from multiple lenders or banks in order to accomplish the goal of getting you guys the max amount funding. Obviously, on our end and beneficial for the client, we want to do it as little as possible. We're shooting for one. If we can get one lender to give us the, let's say, 400,000, then yes, we'll shoot for one. If it doesn't work out with one and we get, let's say, 250 from one, we'll try and get the other 150 from a different lender. If they come back with 100, then we go after the 50. So then there would be three inquiries on there. And what I would suggest, and what I suggest with all of my clients, after they go through our funding process, we do work with a credit repair company that's able to go in there and get those inquiries taken off of your credit.
Oh, yeah, that's dope. How do we get in contact with you?
Yeah, so I think Asia, I'm not 100% sure if you posted my link or my contact information on this call. You can get in touch.
Going out again. I think he froze again or muted.
No, I think his audio had muted on him.
Yeah.
It probably popped back in.
Am I back?
Yep. There you go. Welcome back.
Okay. I don't know why the video is not showing, but let's see what's going on with this. I apologize. I don't know why the video is not working, but anyways, yeah. So what I would say is, in order to get in touch with me, you can either get in touch with, it's not working.
We saw you for a second.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, you saw me for a second, huh? So what you could do to get in touch with me is you can send me an email directly to brandon@preferredfundinggroup.com. You can reach me on my cell phone. If you have questions, it's 815-878-0244, or you can go through Asia with any questions or application, and Asia can send those over to me directly.
Okay. Can 50,000 per year be a combination of W-2 and 1099?
100%. So whatever's going to be on your taxable income, so on your tax at the end of the year, it's going to incorporate your W-2 and your 1099. Whatever's on your taxes at that point, yes, then that would definitely work.
Okay. Are there any limitations on what we can use the funds for? Does it have to be real
Nope.
estate only? Oh, then
No,
let
it
me.
could be for whatever you guys need it for. So you could use it for real estate. You could use it for a different business. There's no restrictions, so you can use it for however you need to.
Right, and it doesn't have to be real estate only. Yes, you can fund it to purchase a gas station.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
All right. Do you liquidate credit cards?
Do we liquidate credit cards? No.
Yeah, I figured that. All right.
No.
Well, I mean, they could take the cash and pay off their credit cards pretty much,
Right.
right? And then
100%. Yes.
like consolidate some of your other expenses, your other lines of credit all into one pretty much by paying them
Correct.
off.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know what this is good for too? So when you do like a hard money loan, maybe you got a 6 month or 1 year hard money loan and it's becoming due, you probably can use this to pay that off and extend it. Or let's say you changed your mind, you had a property under a hard money loan that you were going to buy and flip, and you decided you want to keep it. Maybe instead of doing a refinance, because a lot of lenders, they want you to do it in your business name under the hard money loans. So maybe you decided you want to keep it as a rental property. You can borrow the money from here, pay off the hard money lender, and now you got
Correct.
you a rental property.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's dope. Or you can use it to pay off student loans or the house you live in, like, or just kind of consolidate all your debt and then you just paying one person instead of paying all these other different people, and then you got interest on top of all those other little ones. Like that's kind of dope too.
Right.
Absolutely.
But even with student loans or something, then you probably can you might not even have to pay the full amount. You could probably call and negotiate. Cause you can negotiate any loan. I mean, it don't hurt to ask.
Right.
Especially if you come in with it due all at once. They normally take it depending on what you offering. Some people say, can you repeat your contact information?
Yeah, my email is Brandon, BRANDON at preferredfundinggroup.com.
Oh, dope. Do we got any more questions? This was pretty dope. Thank you again, Brandon and Rez, for tuning in. I appreciate it for jumping on. We could definitely do this again because I know people will probably have more questions, especially as the end of the year comes and then New Year. But I do know like a lot of lenders, like it's kind of hard to borrow money like that first quarter of the year because they like finishing up last year's stuff and then getting ready for the upcoming year. So I don't know how true is that with your company, but I know I noticed that
Yeah.
over the
Yeah, 100%. I mean, anytime you go and try to get funding somewhere, it's going to be in your favor more so Q2, Q3, Q4, because they're looking at Q1 numbers and they're going to be a little bit more strict with it. That's why right now is definitely the time to try and get funding, especially if you're needing funding or whatnot, or have projects in mind or stuff that's coming up in Q1. You're more than likely better off trying to go after funding now and acquiring that funding, because we're going to be able to secure a lot more funding now than we will in Q1. I do believe, Asia, and correct me if I'm wrong, you on your Instagram and possibly YouTube page, I'm not sure, you have a link to apply
Yes.
in the bio of your Instagram. So if anybody needs to apply or wants to apply, she does have a link on her Instagram page.
Yeah, it's on Instagram. It'll be in the caption on YouTube and fake because this is live on Facebook and YouTube. So it'll be
Perfect.
there. So y'all could probably apply, let's say tomorrow, and then be funded by the end of the year. The end of the year is like what, three weeks away, maybe roughly.
Yep.
Yep. This is amazing. Thank you for setting this up. You are very welcome. You should also thank me with a donation. So do you all trying to see? So let's say, because I know somebody gonna ask me this later, I'm looking at a car lot and I want to purchase that car lot. I could probably use this for this because that's technically a business, right?
As long as you have a business, then yes, you can do it. If you don't have a business, then you need to create an LLC in order to get that business EIN number. So then that way you can apply for this funding. So if you don't have a business, then you wouldn't be able to qualify for the funding.
Right. So I suggest people that's on here that want to invest solely in Detroit because that's my market, or Michigan. I personally buy in the winter months because it's typically cheaper. So if you get your funding now, like you can really like buy some nice deals between now and probably what you say, Red, early April maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it's cold. So you're gonna get way better deals. Like Big Orange, I bought in February. It was snow on the ground. I got it for $7,200. I really should have paid 25,000 for that house, but I've never paid more than 10 grand. That's just me.
You brought up another good point too. Why this is more beneficial because a lot of hard money lenders won't loan under 70,000. So let's say you go get 100 access to 150, and you find one of those $30,000 homes. Now you got the cash to buy it. Or there's a lot of areas that are up and coming areas in Detroit
Mm-hmm.
that they don't have the comps to support it. So like just picture like 5, 6 years ago, if you could buy on the North End or Midtown, and there was not enough comps to support those values. But look at it now.
Yep.
Nobody would loan you money to buy and renovate those properties. Now you have access to the cash to go into some of the upcoming areas like a Highland Park or something like that, where you can buy it and hold it for 3 to 5 years until the market in that area catches up.
Yeah, because you can buy and hold on any Detroit property as long as it's not a land bank house. Y'all always sending me these land bank houses. So this is a perfect example. If you have no money, do not buy no land bank house. But with this program, you'll have money and you'll have more than enough, if not, whatever, to purchase and rehab your land bank
Right.
property. Most Detroit land bank houses, at least all the ones I've done, have been full gut jobs and have been 100 to 180,000 on the rehab. That's minimum. That's roof, no foundation work. Because a lot of these old houses have knob and tube, and if I'm the contractor on it and they got knob and tube, the only thing I'm keeping in that house is the hardwood floors. I'm not keeping nothing else, so don't ask me. I'm only keeping the hardwood floors. Like for real, because they ask, what about this wall? It's gone. I'm
Yeah.
not keeping nothing.
I got another quick question too. So, what if someone has multiple businesses? Can they get loans? I don't know if y'all covered this. So, I got several businesses and I want to get loans for each business. I can do that?
Sure. So what we can do for an individual business owner that has multiple entities, I can get you funded for up to 3 businesses on one individual application. Now, we couldn't do all 3 at once. We'd have to do one, then the other, then the other. But yes, I can
Right.
get you funded for all 3 businesses. For one sole individual, I can get up to 3 businesses funded.
So that's up to 450,000.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
the
no, no.
reason,
So I can only get I can get you qualified for a business line of credit up to 3 entities. I can only get an individual qualified for an unsecured term loan once at one
No,
time. I mean, obviously you can come back to us 6 months later or a year later or 5 years later and do it again. But I wouldn't be able to get you multiple unsecured term loans for each business. But a line of credit, absolutely.
no, that's what I'm saying. Because if you can get up to 150 in the line of credit per
Oh,
business, yeah, that's
right.
450.
And the reason I asked, I'm glad you answered that too, because we know a lot of people. They got maybe like a trucking business, they're in real
Mhm.
estate, they're trying to open up, I don't know, a clothing store or something. So this would be ideal for somebody that maybe they got partners in one business and then they got a business they're running themselves, and they can go out and apply for these different businesses as well.
Correct.
Cool.
Somebody said, can you repeat how long the loans are for? Like the terms of the loans?
Yep, unsecured term loan, 5 to 7 years. On the business line of credit, it is It's a revolving line of credit. So as long as you use it and keep it open, it will stay open and you can use it.
So that
No
means,
set term.
so for people who might not know, revolving line is as you pay it down, you can like go borrow again up until that certain amount, right? So if you had 150, you used all of it, but you paid down 100. Now you got 50 left you can use, right? In a sense.
Well, you'd have 100,000 if you paid 100,000 back on 150,000. You'd have 100,000.
Correct.
Right.
But yes,
Correct.
I understood what you were saying. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. One more question. Oh, this for me. Asia, when are you going to start doing gut renovations in Michigan again? Probably February, because January is normally a busy month for me. Because for those that do their business taxes, we have deadlines. So that by 31st, all my subs from this year have to have their 1099. So January is usually a busy paperwork month. And then like if you have your registration tabs for your vehicle for your company, those are due what like February 1st, I think, Reg,
Mm-hmm.
or 15th or something like that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for your Aquarius.
Well, no, I think for business in general, if you
Oh
got
yeah, for business. I
yeah for
thought you were
business.
saying,
But see, mine do twice, my birthday and my business.
yeah. So we special over here at Aquarius.
Right. So I'm like, I just want all my money.
Yeah.
But that's when I plan on starting back in February because Big Orange is almost done. So once that's done, then I'm getting booked up for like other houses. So we gonna see. Cause mostly all the houses I do is full gut. Cause now I'm like, if I can't gut it, I don't want to touch it. Cause then people try to hold you liable for stuff that just not your fault.
Actually, I'm glad you said that. It's a lot of contractors out there that actually could take on more work. They just don't have the money to take on bigger projects. So
Yep.
like this would be ideal for a contractor. Maybe they need, or especially if they're bidding like a government job or some
Mm-hmm.
type of corporate job. Sometimes them jobs require you to have, 100 or 200,000 up front, especially
Yep.
like for apartment buildings or something like that. So
Yeah, because on the governments in the city side, like you have to front load your work. So for those who might front load mean you gotta go do the work, submit an invoice, and then you will get paid within on the fast end, maybe 10 days, some up to 60. I know some federal contracts, you won't get your first check for 60 days. So that's a long time. So if you ain't got the money to front load that, then this would be perfect for me. Like I
right,
start getting into bigger projects because if I'm doing a government job plus 10 other people rehab, that's a lot of money I need on the back end just to keep it going.
right.
Yep. Where's the application? Cheryl, I will send you the link, but for everybody else, the link is in my bio on Instagram. It'll be on my website too. I'm gonna have the tech team do that, and it'll be in the caption on this live. They said I'm gonna start filing my taxes.
Good
Good,
idea.
very good idea. But you know what? A lot of people who don't file their taxes is why they didn't get no money last year.
Right.
A whole lot, like on the business side, because there was a lot of grant money out here for businesses due to COVID. The SBA money, a lot of people didn't get that. So yeah, y'all got to start doing y'all business taxes, man. Even if you at a loss, just still show it.
That another question too. So talking about tax returns. So let's say someone had their business and they didn't file for the past 2 years. If they go and file their taxes now for 2019 and 20, will you accept that if you see that they just recently filed?
Well,
So,
yes and
so
no. So I
basically, they
don't need
filed them
business
late.
taxes. I need their right. Yeah, no, I need their personal taxes. So,
Okay.
so if the business didn't file taxes, but that's their only sole income, that's going to come into a problem
Okay.
because I'm going to need your business taxes eventually. But if you didn't file your business taxes, but you have other taxable income like W-2 income somewhere else that reflects the 50K, yeah. But like you said, if they do their taxes over for 19 and 20, and they get that done, then yeah, absolutely, I could get them
Okay.
pre-qualified. Again, as long as they make 50K in personal income and have the credit score for the unsecured term loan, I can get it done. If they don't have the income again, I can get them qualified for a line of credit.
Because I'm pointing at the camera because I got some friends I'm pointing to. They gonna hear this and they probably gonna go file their taxes this week,
Right.
so they can try to get some money.
That sounds good.
All right.
For real. Do we got any more questions? We've been here almost an hour, so that's not bad. This is pretty dope. Thank you all again for coming on. If there's no last questions, then I guess we can do final thoughts or something.
Final thoughts. Yeah, the only thing I'd say is, like I said, right now is a great time to try and get funding, especially through us. We've seen our banks and our lenders over the last 6 weeks and into this week funding tremendously more than what we've seen in the last several years. If you make $50K in personal income over the last 2 years, and that's each year, not collectively, each year $50K, and then also have a 3-bureau credit report with a 680 credit score, send it my way. I can definitely get you pre-qualified. If you have a business, I need a business entity, so I need an EIN number, not for the pre-qualification, but after the pre-qualification, I will definitely need to verify that you have a business. But yeah, if you have those two requirements, the 50K in personal income over the last 2 years and the credit score for the unsecured term loan, I can get you pre-qualified. If you don't have the income, not a problem. I can get you pre-qualified with a 680 credit score across all 3 bureaus for a business line of credit. If you have none of those, but you have a cosigner that meets those requirements, I can still get you pre-qualified up to $400,000 on an unsecured term loan and up to $150,000 on a business line of credit.
Okay, I got a quick question. So once you're approved, how soon is your first payment due?
30 days.
Oh, so that's average.
Yeah. Yep.
That's typical. All right. Oh, wait, we got more questions. If we make more money than the loan, can it be larger than 150?
Well, on the line of credit, we're not looking at income, at least, what you make on income. So on the unsecured term loan, the more you make is fantastic because that's going to go towards your DTI. So, obviously the more money you make is going to help out your DTI, which is something that an underwriter is definitely going to look at for the unsecured term loan.
Okay. Red, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, so years ago, one of my business coaches told me, get that first 100,000. Access to the first 100,000. So for everybody that's gonna go out and borrow this money, make sure you have a plan for it. Don't just go get it and start coming up with ideas. You need to have an idea in place. So how would you spend 150? How would you invest 450? Have it outlined, because it can go the opposite way for you too if you go and get the money and don't have a strategy for it.
All right, Brandon, I got one last question. So let's say I get the loan and I default on payment. What's the procedure? Like, I know it's gonna go on my credit, so I know that. But being that it's no property attached to it or collateral or anything, like what does that look like? I'm gonna pay my bills, but for those on here who might be trying to do something else.
Yeah, it's similar to how if you default on a credit card or go late payments on a credit card, or if you went late on a personal loan, it's going to be similar, repercussions that you would face when you go after that. Yeah, they're not going to come after your house because it's not unsecured. They're not going to come get your car, go after your business, nothing like that. But yeah, it's going to hit your credit. You're going to look bad to lenders after the fact. And then, you could go to collections. You could work out a payment program with them. It all depends. But yeah, it's nothing. You're not going to get anything seized from you because it's unsecured.
Right. Okay. I think that was all the questions. I don't really have no final thoughts. I guess. Let me see. Thank y'all for tuning in on this Wednesday. It's cold in the D, like for real today. It is cold. So it's cold in Chicago. Here in Chicago, like the Midwest is just cold right now. Like I'm ready to go somewhere hot.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you.
All right, so this is the last question. What is the range of interest rates currently being included on the loans? Typical lowest to highest.
Unsecured term loan, average interest the range is 3 to 15%. On the line of credit, 0% introductory interest rate for the first year. After that, it's 5.99 to 14.99.
So after that first year, does it backdate to the beginning of the loan if you're not paid off? Is it from that year
Nope.
going forward?
Correct.
Oh, that's good. That's real good. All right, so that was the last question because it is almost 7 o'clock, so it's almost 6 for him. Thank everybody for tuning in. People who sent donations and also purchased badges, thank you very much. Also save the date while we on this live for. Let me pull it up. We are doing Detroit Real Estate Weekend, so this is my only church announcement. It will be July 28th through the 31st. Hopefully, Brandon could come and be a guest speaker on our amazing Detroit financing or just financing in general panel. So I'll talk to him more about that. The link to purchase tickets will probably be up in like another week or so. So it's gonna be a pretty cool weekend. We're gonna do a VIP white and denim yacht party so y'all can come out in y'all buffs, you know what I'm saying? Or your white Air Force Ones. Then Friday we're gonna do the actual workshop. That night we're gonna have a nice VIP mastermind. And then Saturday we'll tour Detroit and have a black tie gala that Saturday night. So it's gonna be pretty dope. So stay tuned for that. If nobody else has any last thoughts or questions or comments, thank you again, Brandon, for tuning in. Thank you, Reg, for tuning in. Thank you everybody in the social media world for tuning in. And I hope y'all have a good, warm Wednesday night. Deuces.
Thanks, guys.
All right. And bro.